Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Hope everyone's had a great Easter weekend. Kids are running me fucking wild. I'm sick of eating Easter eggs. I'm supposed to be off the chocolate, but there's Easter eggs all around my house, and I'm a chocoholic. So as soon as I see one, especially them Cadbury's ones, the egg, I'm on it. So yeah, it's not been a good weekend for me, but it was a good weekend for the game. Manchester City win at Everton. The last ever time Manchester City will visit Goodison Park. I can't lie, Goodison Park's always been a shithole for me. Anyone that's seen my Instagram story at weekend, you can see the wooden seats and how tiny it was. It's just not a comfortable away end. It's fucking well overdue, you know what I mean? And thankfully they're going to get the stadium they deserve, because Everton as a club, I don't actually mind, you know what I mean? I feel like they've been left behind a little bit. So Bramley-Moore Dock's going to be sensational for them. I feel like they're going to end up, getting a stadium they can be proud of, and hopefully they can start becoming what it was many, many moons ago. They got to the ground early. The lineup was announced. No major shocks. I think everyone thought that the team was quite comfortable and more than enough to go and beat Everton. The game started, and it's probably started the same as most games have this season. You know what I mean? Very, very possession based. Very, very Man City keep the ball side to side, to the goalkeeper, to the left, to the right. Midfield was very, very compact. Wasn't a lot of space in there. We had Savinho giving us a little bit of a width on the left. Bernardo on the right, who doesn't really give us width, to be fair. With Mamouche in the middle. It's so frustrating to talk about, because the game itself, City were quite poor. Side to side. Ilkay Gundogan's first touch, he's always seems to be backwards now. Nico Gonzalez at times again was panicking, backwards passing. We didn't have anyone to break the lines and get out. We huffed and puffed a little bit. Nothing of real note to talk about in the first half. I think Kevin De Bruyne had a shot which was headed off the line by O'Brien, the fullback. Other than that, it could have been Everton that went in front. I think they hit the bar. Was it the post with a Tarkowski header, which was totally against the run of play. I mean, Everton wasn't a threat. I mean, Decore in the midfield, he was trying to get the ball and burst through. He's a player that's been a decent player for the Premier League. He's on a free transfer in the summer. I'm not suggesting we buy him, but I mean, somebody will get him, Decore, and probably end up with a good player there, unless he signs a new deal at Everton. But he looked lively for me. You know what I mean? He looked lively for me. They got that Ndiaye up front, who they got from Marseille, who's nothing in the Premier League. He lacks cutting edge, and I thought, like, they're never going to score. You know what I mean? Everton are never going to score. We just got to keep it tight. The back four, Nico O'Reilly again at left back, I thought was very, very good. Josko Gvardiol and Ruben Diaz at centre back, again, looking really, really solid. I'm really, really impressed with that centre back partnership. I think that's the best centre back partnership we can have. And Mateus Nunes at right back, who gets a lot of stick off City fans, gets a lot of criticism, but I feel like he's growing into a decent fullback. I feel like his decision making is getting better. His positioning is getting a lot better, and he's actually starting to have impact on games going forward. So the back four over the last 3 or 4 games, to me, has looked okay, but it's the midfield combinations he's not quite getting right. You know what I mean? It's the wing play he's not quite getting right. And the first half was a 0-0 drab affair. Like you say, Kevin De Bruyne chance, their chance, that was it. We come out the second half, we're expecting a rocket up their arse. You know what I mean? It's boring, slow football that a lot of the crowd were getting frustrated with. We come out the second half, it was the same. Do you know what I mean? Side to side, side to side. Savinho, for all his pace and power, did not want to beat O'Brien. You've got a fullback who's 6 foot plus, who is going up against a winger, a tricky Brazilian winger. It's a nightmare for O'Brien. Put it on him. Never put it on him. You know, we've got a midfield that is being cautious, knocking it to the back all the time. The amount of times we got to the edge of their box and we ended up back with Ortega was mental. Everton would have scored again. Great save by Ortega. I think it was Branthwaite come through with a header. He's jumped in with the header and Ortega's just clawed it out. Fantastic save. I feel like Kevin De Bruyne couldn't get his usual passes off. He was doing a couple of outside of the boot ones that was giving the ball away. Plenty of energy, but no final touch. And we're looking over at Pep on the bench and we're saying, look, we need something here, Pep. You've got a bench of Grealish, Foden, Doku. Everyone's on there. Let's get them on. Let's go for it. When he did make the change, thankfully it worked. Jeremy Doku comes on. Mateo Kovacic comes on. Both gave us a spark that we needed. First touch, Jeremy gets the ball, goes at the fullback, roasts him. That O'Brien's thinking, going to be a long 15 minutes this for me. You brought him on now. I'm already tired. And Jeremy went at him. And I felt that gave us a spark to get further up the pitch. I feel like Mateo Kovacic coming into midfield was a great move. I feel like he gets the ball, Mateo, and his first thought is always forward. You know what I mean? He sees a gap, he'll push the ball into it, and he'll get in and get his body in, and he gets us forward. That is exactly what we needed. The goal came from Mateus Nunes, the wing play out wide. Great, intelligent football by Nico O'Reilly. I mean, Nico's had a fantastic season. We know he's not a left back. But if you watch the goal, he's hanging around the edge. He anticipates the play. That the overlap's going to come from Nunes. There's a gap around the front post. Get myself in that gap. He anticipates the play. He heads to the front post. The ball's whipped across. Bang, 1-0. Absolute brilliant. The relief from the City fans was like, whoosh, fucking brilliant. The kid comes running to the City end. He gets his badge. He kisses it. You know, it's always good to see. We know Nico O'Reilly's a blue. You know, I've been a big fan of him for a long, long time. And I feel like he can only get better. And I feel like Pep having this trust in him now is fantastic to see. Plus, he's adding goals to his game. It's great for a young Mancunian to come all the way through the academy and end up playing in this Manchester City team, scoring goals, playing week in, week out, affecting the games. Is what we all as Mancunians, you know, Manchester City supporters love to see. We love to see the local players getting a chance. And yeah, it was fantastic. So 1-0 and you're thinking, I'm thinking then, we've snatched it. You know what I mean? It was going to be a stinker. If it was a 0-0, it would have reminded me of Old Trafford, stinking the gaff out. But we, we carried on and carried on. And then the ball comes in the box. Ilkay Gundogan, when he takes a bad touch, to be honest, I thought he was going to swivel himself and shoot. Takes a bad touch, lays it off to Kovacic, edge of the box. Kovacic slides in, smashes it bottom corner. 2-0. Job done. Manchester City 3 points away at Everton. Potential banana skin. But we got the job done in the end. So people coming away from the ground talking about the 3 points, but really the level of performance wasn't up to scratch. It was very, very laboured and very, very slow and predictable. But we got the win, people. Pep made the subs at the right times. Sometimes he gets criticised for not making the subs at the right times. He made the sub at the right times, and we got the win. So we can't argue with it. And it was a good win. And if we can follow on this win with a win against Villa tomorrow night, then it's been a great week. If we can follow on Villa win with a win against Nottingham Forest in the semi-final, then we're in dreamland. It's been a fantastic week. But one step at a time, people. One step at a time. So from the Everton game, I was very, very pleased with the back four. I felt like they kept a clean sheet. They did okay. I've mentioned it, Diaz-Guardiola partnership looking good. The fullbacks looking okay. The midfield for me was a little bit laboured. I feel it was side to side backwards until he changed it. And, you know, big credit to Jeremy Doku that came on and gave us that spark because we needed it. Marmoush had a couple of chances. He had one in the second half where he broke through one-on-one. Really should have finished it, but he couldn't get hold of the ball. He sort of scuffed at it. But other than that, Blues were going to take it. The away end, again, was fantastic. Just seeing that we got voted best away fans by Everton this year, which is fair play because we didn't stop singing. It is a shithole of an away end, but we kept it moving. There was a few of the players' families was in there. Seen Foden's dad, seen De Bruyne's missus and his son. Savino's family were all there just in front of us, obviously enjoying the game. I spoke to a couple of the lads who were near De Bruyne's missus. They said they were speaking to her about Kevin leaving, and she didn't really say much, but she said he didn't want to leave. And then he comes out and does the interview at the end, where he basically confirms he didn't want to leave. I don't know what your opinions on the Kevin De Bruyne. I think we all agree, most of us, that at 400 grand a week, we can't really keep him. You know, just to come and play the odd game here and there and not play 3 games a week. I don't think he's going to take a pay cut to sit around on the bench. I don't think City would ask him to do that. Because if he did, I think City probably would give him a 1-year deal, but I can't see it. It's just that it seems like a little bit cruel. You know what I mean? It seems a little bit cruel that the way he brought it up was like he's been tucked in a room and gone, listen, just to let you know, Kev, you're not getting a new contract. Thanks for everything. We're going to give you a signed shirt on the pitch at the end of the season and you can sling it. I'm sure that's not happened, but, you know, it does sound like he is a bit upset by, you know, the goings on at the football club. But I've just said it on my Instagram that I believe that we need to basically make the last game of the season against Bournemouth and the last game of the season against Fulham a Kevin De Bruyne sort of day, like a celebration of De Bruyne. Bring the Belgian flags, bring your Bruyne shirts, whatever. Get the 1894 to do a big banner for Kevin De Bruyne in the South Stand, etc. And really, really like send him off on a high, because we don't want to leave a nasty taste in his mouth. He's been one of the best, if not the best player we've had for the last how many years. So we want to make sure Kevin leaves on good terms. You know what I mean? The fact that he's saying he thinks he's good enough to do a job sees to me that he's leaving himself open for maybe another Premier League move. You know, there's been talk about Liverpool, there's been talk about Newcastle, etc. I think that would hurt a lot of fans. But listen, if Manchester City don't want him and he's got a point to prove, then don't be surprised if he doesn't end up in the Premier League somewhere. And yeah, it's going to be a tough watch. But other than that, I feel like we got the job done. 3 points in the bag. The top 4 race is hotting up. Chelsea won last minute yesterday. Villa beat Newcastle. Moving on to the Villa game Tuesday. The 1894 are planning another protest outside the main reception. This one is about the season tickets. Fans not being able to get new season tickets, etc. New season tickets not being issued for the last 6 years. These protest people, whether you like them or not, whether you take part or not, they do work. We did see in the last one the amount of people that stayed on the concourse and the club and Sheikh Mansour, and everyone got a message that, you know, the 1894, the food bank group, etc., everybody involved in it are not going to take it lying down. And we got a small victory out of that. You know, the club froze the season ticket prices and kept the general admission prices down, which is fantastic news. But that's only a small battle, and the war has not been won yet. The season ticket one's a big one, and the Viagogo thing is another big one. But we'll come to that as and when we need to. But please look out on the 1894 socials for what's going on against Villa. And tonight on the other channel, We Are the South Stand, MCFC on YouTube. If you don't follow us, go and follow us. The 1894 are on at 6 p.m. So at 6 p.m. tonight, you can go on. There's 3 members of the group on there. Any questions you've got, anything you're unsure about, anything you want to know about the protests, the ticket prices, etc., now's your chance tonight. Set yourself an alarm, get yourself a cup of tea, jump on We Are the South Stand and get involved. This is your club. This is our club, the club we love. You know, it's all right sitting there having a moan. If you want to get involved and find out what's going on and how you can help, tonight, We Are the South Stand, 6 o'clock. Jump on it, people. Villa, tomorrow. I'm actually working in London all day tomorrow. I'm going to have to get a train at 5 back to Manchester. I'm just going to be cutting it fine, but I will be there at some point. Very, very difficult game. Aston Villa's had a great season. I feel like they've got a really good squad. They've got a good bench. They was unlucky against Paris at Villa Park. I thought it was an outstanding game of football. And then they've gone and battered Newcastle, who was the informed team. So they're going to come to the Etihad and they're going to sense a little bit of blood and feel like they can put it on us. I think we've got to match fire with fire. I feel like the Savinho, Doku on the wings, we need a bit of width. We've got to pin them back. And I'm looking forward to an entertaining game. I don't know what you guys think. You know, can we win this game? Would you take a draw? Let me know in the comments. But I feel like we've got to win it. I feel we've got to put a marker down and say, listen, we had a rough start of the season. We haven't been the best, but we're sort of back now. And we're going for this top 4. I feel like Kovacic may start in the midfield. I feel like Grealish might get a game. You know, certain players were rested. Foden's been rested again. You know, he needs to have a big, strong end to the season because of the season he's had has not been good enough. So there's a lot of different, you know, team selections that could be out there, but we just got to trust Pep. You know what I mean? At weekend, we were moaning about him. He makes the change and we win the game 2-0. If that happens again on Tuesday night, we're taking it. We're taking it all day, people. 100%. Little bit of transfer news this morning. See that it looks like Man City are going to let Bernardo Silva leave. I mean, Bernardo Silva's been a fantastic player for us. Absolutely brilliant. And the memories we're going to have with Bernardo were fantastic. But he's another one who I think a lot of City fans would say, you know, last season we could have got, what, 50, 60 million for him. We were begging him to stay. He stayed this season, and it looks like he stayed a season too far. Pigeonholing him out on the right wing doesn't really do it. And, you know, a lot of City fans are thinking, just cut our losses. So for me, Hugo Viana's in. I think this is a big, big pre-season for him. I think he's got to announce his Manchester City tenure with at least 4 or 5 big, big signings. Players that can go in the first team, going to make a difference. I feel like we need creative spark kind of players in the middle of the park. We've been linked with Morgan Gibbs-White. I don't know if he's going to be the one. I don't know. Florian Wirtz is the one a lot of us are dreaming of. Going to be difficult to get him out of Bayer Leverkusen. But I think City are going to have a few signings up the sleeves. Cambiasso at Juventus is mentioned, could be a great player. You know, another fullback, Jeremiah Frimpong's been mentioned. Anthony Robinson at Fulham's been mentioned. So there's definitely moves, I think, in the pipeline. And I feel like with the World Club Cup on the horizon, Manchester City are going to have to make moves fast. The emergence of Nico O'Reilly's been so positive. Rico Lewis can play basically anywhere. He's going to stay around the squad. Mateus Nunes now becoming a right back and actually playing well and not having that bozo moment is a positive sign. Kuzanov, Reyes, Echeverri, Oscar Bob coming back, Rodri coming back. So it's not all doom and gloom, Blues. It's not all doom and gloom. We've just got to back these boys now to go and get this job done against Aston Villa. And the big one at weekend, semi-final at Wembley. So just to touch on the Wembley game, the ticket situation, I believe there's a lot of tickets left. It is a Sunday. It's shit. We know that. But it's always going to be shit at Wembley. You know, the club are going to look at these sales and maybe throw it back at the fans and say, look, you're moaning about season tickets. You're moaning about ticket prices. We need you in the semi-final. And there's a lot not going to go. I encourage anyone who's on the fence, if you're thinking, should I go, should I not go, go. You know what I mean? We need the support. We need you there. We need all the people there. It's a one-off. It's Wembley semi-final. You know, everyone will want to go to the final, but let's go to the semi-final. Season ticket holders can buy up to 4 tickets now. I know Villa's sold out, Forest sold out, Palace has sold out. You know, last thing we want is to see big blocks of empty seats at Wembley. I know we've been there 28 times in fucking 14 years or something. I get that. And I know it's tough. And I know it after Easter weekend and all that. I know it. But I'm just saying to you, listen, if you're on the fence and you're thinking, you know what, I'm not going to go, but should I go? We need you there. We need the fans there. We need to back the boys and get everyone there. You know what I mean? This is where we are now. So, you know, I'm going to go down on the Saturday. I'm going to the boxing at Tottenham. Ben Eubank. My good friend Lyndon Arthur, he's fighting Anthony Yarde, so I'm going to support him. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we've got City on the Sunday and then back home on the Monday. So, yes, people, it's going to be an eventful week. I'm looking forward to it. Like you say, I'm at London tomorrow for the Big Six show, filming all day, and then I'll be back for that. But let me know what you think. Everton, you know, was you the same as me? Was you getting frustrated and then all of a sudden, bang, bang, we snatched it? Aston Villa at home, Do you think we can win that game? You know, would you take a draw? And Nottingham Forest at weekend, big day out for Nottingham Forest at Wembley. We've got to make sure we turn up. We can't be, you know, half-hearted and taking things for granted. You know, Forest have beat us at their ground. We beat them at the Etihad. It's 1-1. We've got to go and get the win and get to the FA Cup final, people. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what you think about the De Bruyne situation. Bernardo Silva, do you think it's time to go? Let me know what you think about the Wembley situation as well. You know, have I convinced you to go, or are you like, nah, Steve, it's too expensive, we're not going to do it? Please hit a like on the stream. Please follow my channel at Big Steve MCFC, my Instagram at Big Steve MCFC, and TikTok at Big Steve MCFC. And please support the new channel at We Are the South Stand MCFC. Daps is over there doing a great job. He's doing the morning sessions now, getting up in the morning, looking about what Man City news is there, and having a bit of a brew and a bit of breakfast and chatting about City in the morning. So if you didn't know that that was happening, get over there and support him. Other than that, people, keep the faith. 3 points at Everton. Roll on Villa. Come on, City.